Today I messed up by banging my first cousin. So, didn't happen today, but last weekend. Finally getting around to really processing it all, and I guess trying to deal with it. Went out for drinks with my girlfriend and met up with my younger cousin at the bar. We'd all hung out once before and had a great time. My cousin invited a couple of her friends to the bar too. We did some bar hopping. I got drunk pretty unintentionally. The last bar was, I swear, not putting any mixers in my cocktails, they were straight alcohol. So anyway, we're about to leave and my cousin's friends are trying to get her home, because she's drunk too. Well, my GF was our DD, so we offered to let her stay in our spare room. Everyone was cool with that because who's safer than family, right? Wrong. We get home and I had to piece together some of this later because I blacked out for most of it. Apparently initially everything was cool. My cousin went to the spare room and my GF got her situated. The problem started a little later when I, in my infinite wisdom, decided to walk straight out of my bedroom with my girlfriend in it and into my cousin's room. I don't particularly remember much except for two details which I guess are not important to the story. Well, okay, so one might be. I remember her giving me a very enthusiastic BJ, which, as you can imagine, makes a lot of noise. Apparently after a while, my GF came out of the room wondering where I was because I just freaking disappeared. She didn't barge into the room or anything, but she heard the noises, which is pretty freaking obvious. So at that point, she left. Like me. She left me, and I don't blame her. Anyway, that means I wake up the next morning, having blacked out, oblivious that my GF was gone already, but I'm freaking naked next to my naked cousin. There's cum all over the bed where her face was. She didn't even sleep with a pillow. There's obviously no hiding this, but I'm still half drunk, and I went to try to go sneak back into my room, which I found empty. So yeah, I haven't heard from my GF all week, and I'm sure we're done, and I don't blame her. All I can hope for now is that this crap doesn't get out to my family, because I would probably implode. No, my cousin and I are not going to start hooking up regularly. It's actually super awkward, and she has hardly said a word to me either. Again, I don't blame her. Today I messed up by confiscating my son's Game Boy and hiding it. For 18 years, my son was not doing his homework, so I confiscated his GBA. I told him he would get it back next week. Well, he's a pretty clever dude and knew all my hiding places, so I put it someplace he would never look. Except I suffered a TBI a few years earlier and I forget stuff. So when he did his homework and asked for it back after a week, I could not find it. Arg. I looked everywhere. Narrator. Obviously not everywhere. Then we moved house, and I still didn't find it. SpongeBob. 18 years later, I was donating some coats I had not worn in a long time, and in the pocket of a Viennese trench coat from the 1930s, I found his Game Boy Advance and turned it on, and it worked. Pokemon appeared. I put fresh batteries into it and handed it to my 28-year-old son, who proceeded to laugh for a good 5 minutes, then played it for a few hours, then proceeded to tell my wife and other adult children how silly I was. TL/DR. Hid kid's Game Boy, forgot where. Found it almost 20 years later. Family has further proof that I'm an idiot. Today I messed up by thinking a woman was a boy and groping her boob. Kind of not safe for work, though it happened at work. Obligatory, this actually happened a little over a year ago, and throwaway because I don't want people on my main account to know what I do for a living. So, I work for the TSA, and have for a few years now. It's a good job overall. I'm underpaid, but the benefits are nice, and I get overtime when I want it. A little over a year ago, during the week leading up to Christmas, we had some really bad weather that delayed all the flights. I volunteered to stay late so that my coworkers could go home to their families. Most of the work was done anyway, so it was mostly just standing around waiting for the odd latecomer. I was working the AIT, the space tube thingy, when 3 passengers came up together, a middle-aged man, a middle-aged woman, and a teenage boy. I figure it's a family traveling together for the holidays, and go about my work. Mom goes through, all is fine. Dad goes through, all is fine. Kid comes up, I get a good look at him. Hoodie, sweatpants, shortish hair, smooth face. I figure he's about 13, maybe 14. I hit the button, direct him to wait with me for a moment, and then gesture to the screen. which lit up on his chest area. I tell him that I have to pat that area down. He's a little nervous. I figure that because he's so young. This is probably his first time getting a pat down, but he says okay, and I start the pat down. I do the left side of the chest and feel some mub, which catches me off guard because he didn't look chubby at all. I move to the right side of the chest, read what's on the hoodie, and it all clicks at once. The hoodie has the name of the local college on it. This is an adult, not a child. He's not wearing sweatpants. / she / is wearing yoga pants. She doesn't even know the couple that just came through. I look at her face, which is bright red. My hand is still on her boob, and I pull it back like I just got bit by a snake. I immediately call for my supervisor, who comes over and asks what's wrong, and I explain the situation to her. My supervisor covers her mouth, and at first I thought she was absolutely mortified, but then I realized she's trying not to laugh. She takes a minute to pull herself together, tells me to go take a break, and finishes screening the passenger herself. Once that was done, I apologize to the passenger. She tells me it's fine, that it wasn't the first time she was mistaken for a boy, and she probably should have said something before I started touching her. I leave her alone and go talk to my supervisor to figure out exactly how fired I am. She tells me to calm down, that it was just an honest mistake, and that she has my back if the passenger files an official complaint, but that probably won't happen, and I shouldn't be worried. That reassured me a little, but I still groped a woman and ruined Christmas, so I feel like an absolute monster. I swallow my shame and finish my shift, then I go into the airport proper to find some food, because I just finished a 12-hour shift, and there's no way I have the energy to cook dinner. I saw my hapless victim sitting at her gate, waiting for her flight. I went up to her to apologize again, and saw that the flight had been delayed until morning. It was about 11 at night. I apologize again. She says it's fine, and I ask her if she's planning to stay the whole night. She says she has to. All the hotels in the area are booked. I tell her that I'm getting some dinner, and offer to get her some food as well. After all, I already got a second base. I think it's only fair that I buy her dinner. She agrees, and we go to one of the restaurants that is open late, get some food, and start eating. She said she gets mistaken for a boy a lot, and it's not a big deal. I told her about how I had long hair and no beard in college, and at the gym people would frequently walk into the men's bathroom, see me, and do a double take to make sure they didn't walk into the ladies' room. She laughed, and we ended up talking for a few hours, before I finally told her that I had to get home, and apologized again for the accidental molestation. She said that all is forgiven, if I promised to take her on a real date when she gets back. I agreed. She gave me her phone number, and I went home, and immediately started texting her. We kept talking until her flight finally left, and when she got back I picked her up at the airport, and a few days later took her on that date that I promised her. We just celebrated our 1-year anniversary. She has long hair now. Today I messed up by accidentally getting sexual with my dentist again. I can never go back to my new dentist after 2 visits because I'm an idiot. My dentist is a very nice and professional man. Our first appointment was going pretty smoothly until he made some innocuous remark about us being strangers. My immediate reply was, "Oh, you're not a stranger. You've been inside of my mouth for 20 minutes. I did not intend to make a sexual joke. His face turned red and he was clearly embarrassed, but he continued on like a true professional, and we were probably both relieved when the appointment was over. I had my second dentist appointment today. I actually mentally prepared myself to be a model patient who didn't say anything weird. Thank you very much. He had been working in my mouth for about 5 minutes when he started to seem really uncomfortable or something. His face was red and he was breathing a little heavier. I was a bit concerned and also confused. Like, how could I have embarrassed him this time? I had hardly spoken. So he keeps working in there, and then I realize what the hell is happening. My dentist was wearing grape-flavored gloves. I had been absent-mindedly licking his fingers the whole time, never going back. Today I messed up by jumping into a lake in my bra/panties to save a man that turned out to be an elite military scuba diver in training. I'm couch surfing with my sister and her boyfriend. I work for him at the lakeside bar, trying to pay for college. My state is open, and while I'm not thrilled, I need both the job and my scored sofa accommodations to make it work. To give them their space, and myself a break from the doom scrolling, I take a run by the lake in the mornings. This lake is bomb-ass and draws scuba divers to the flooded town at the bottom. Today, I was in my own head running when a dark mass floated to the surface 40 feet away. I was on the craggy side of the lake, and this dude looked dead. Dead facing away from me. His head was tipped back, eyes closed, bobbing like a fishing lure. No one else was around, so I thought he was quantum crazy out here scuba diving alone at the crackass of dawn, giving himself the bins or some nonsense. Like a jackass, I didn't yell at him to check in. Instead, I towed off my shoes and stripped to my skivvies to save the imbecile. The movie trailer in my head had me taking 3 glorious steps and launching into the deep blue water, Black Widow style. Instead, my tender feet hit the sharp rocks and I contorted under the pain like a slinky as I uncoordinatedly pitched myself into the water, doing a side flop. I was also wearing my contacts, so I swam hard in his direction with my eyes closed. When I opened them, he was dead-as staring at me like I'd lost my ever-loving mind. So I blurted, "Are you okay?" He removed the regulator and incredulously said yes. My brain blue-screened while I tread water. The lake felt infinitely deep. Before I could terrify myself by hearing the Jaws theme song, I turned to nope the hell out of there, yelling over my shoulder, "I thought you needed saving to explain my idiocy." As I pivoted, another dude cleared his throat from 30 feet away on the other side. I never heard a sound from him, so I freaked out, failing and belting an ear-wounding scream at him. Both asshats laughed as a few more heads surfaced around us. I was surrounded by divers, all wildly entertained by my ridiculous high-octane foo. After pointing to me and the beach, the merman that was my original target cautiously swam toward me after I nodded and escorted me to the shore. The beach was much further than I had anticipated, so I was trying to low-key breath, hiding my need to suck all of the O2 from the air. Also, the comedy of the situation consumed me, and I started to giggle. Finally, I joked, "Dude, you are lucky you weren't actually dying because it would have taken everything I have to drag your sorry ass this far." He chuckled before offering me a tow. Hell, no, not gonna happen. Even if I had to dog paddle, I wouldn't openly accept that defeat. He quietly mocked me the rest of the way to the shore. I'm a secret sap for it. They were cadets or recent graduates from a military college, here for the summer. They've been training in pools and were doing some open water exercises. They had been out there at least part of the night. I'm sure I blew up whatever drill they were running. He's training for pre-dive school, and since I am an expert googler, I'm guessing that means combat diving. At the shore, I did my best to throw my shoulders back and march out of the water in my sports bra and undies in front of what I can only imagine are some pretty badass men. I did invite him and his clandestine crew for an absurdly overpriced beer at the bar tonight before shame jogging back into the woods for my clothes. Edit. It's Lake Jacassie and SC. Also, the mere man cheated. He was wearing a floaty vest and fins, that jerk. Okay, I'll admit there is a part of me that is attracted to his mysterious appearance from the Shadow Realm, and I'm definitely imaging that he's constructed from some kind of aluminum steel alloy, but he was also funny and kind. I was vibing his proclivity for witty and sarcastic comments and have a million questions I want to ask him. Edit 2. Okay, at work now and had to turn off the notifications because you snippers are blowing me up. To all the ladies giving advice earlier. Yes, I left the dragonflies at home and went full cute sundress and Jesus sandals. Tried to wear my hair straight, but it's hot as hate out here and it'll be beach wave sweaty before long. My sister's boyfriend has blabbed the whole thing and all of the staff is in full-on ribbing mode. Kinda great actually. They are currently reading the Reddit post, so they are cackling at you people too. So, even if he doesn't show, we're gonna have a great night. We have a long way to go since it's just the dinner crowd, but thanks for making my day great people. Edit 3. Solid dinner crowd, but no mere man, or Frog Prince as you people have started to call him. Our lakeside drinking crew will start rolling in another 1 to 2 hours. I thought you salty bastards of today, I messed up with chew me up and spit me out, but look at you all showing up in the name of love. You guys are awesome. Even if I get ditched, it was worth the day with you. Edit 4:1 whore later. Still no show sad face. Edit 5. He showed. Holy crap, a little bit ago. Yes, I was as dorky as you would have imagined and now I'm typing this from the bathroom like a dumbass again. But I feel like you people are on the ride with me. He's handsome and funny and he smells great. Yes, I hugged him. I'm Southern, it's what we do, not the smelling, the hugging. He's nice and smart and keeps defending me from my jackass friends at the bar, who have almost called him Merman to his face. I think he low-key likes that everyone knew who he was, but not sure how he'll feel about being a Reddit celebrity. I've learned a lot about him, but it wouldn't be fair to share without his permission. His whole crew did not come. Only one, and his bud immediately started flirting with my coworker. That's a good sign, I think. Holy crap, you'd think I'd never met up with a guy before. Also, my friend straight up asked him if he saw my dragonfly undies that look like penises with massive, glow-in-the-dark turquoise blue balls, only she used the Reddit version. Thanks for that nickname, Reddit. He didn't answer, but smirked the truth to me after she left. It was cheeky but cute. He's also been sharing some of the crap that he's been taking today from being saved. He has the same self-deprecating sense of humor as me. I think we are vibing. So, that's all the updates for tonight. He's getting the rest of my attention. Keep sending me those good vibes and peace, people. Edit 6. Last and final update, because you guys are not letting up. I know this may seem weird since I posted this whole situation out into cyberspace for everyone to see, but yesterday it was just a comical story about a guy I didn't think I would ever see again. Something funny to share when we all need a giggle. Today, well, it feels different to talk about him now that we've spent some time together. I like him. There's chemistry and similar interest, and we have plans to see each other again. I don't need the pressure of Reddit to help me screw things up. You guys know I'm a bit of an expert in that regard. That's all. So go do something you love, and find a way to at least balance the doom scrolling with some belly laughs. Sending much love to each of you. Edit 7. Updates. You people keep screaming over 3 weeks later. Don't you have better things to do than pester me about my love life? Huh. The Merman, the Frog Prince, the Dashing Man from Depths, the King of the Shadow Realm, and the many other nicknames that Reddit has bestowed, is still very much in my life. He's better than I can describe with my mortal words. Fangirl him if you must, because I will understand. Thank you all for the well wishes and positivity that this post has given. I hope something amazing and magical happens to each of you, and if it happens to be shamefully funny, I hope you will share, because we all need as many laughs as we can get. Be safe, everyone.